around the boards. Good battle over in the far corner. This is Sarah Wilson, who's about to get the puck for Blackburn. Tall defender. Played at a higher level, as I say, so she'll be expected to lead the line. Hazel Wilson, that is, who's a player coach of the Shadows, almost taken under the backhand by Hazel Taylor, who's a ball hockey player as well, plays for GB. So we have a face-off over on the far side. Some experienced D out there for Sheffield as well. Rowan Yellett-Bilby and Lexi Yellett-Bilby, who come through the junior system very well. Charlie Farr, who played for the 16s up until last summer. As the Shadows re-enter the zone. It's a predominantly the Division 2 North side, with some of their younger players coming in as well. Blackburn having to soak up a lot of pressure early on here then. They've played one tournament before, which was the Sheffield tournament last July, and they were supposed to be there again this year, but have opted out in the end. Eva Solossi, who's another one who's on a two-way with the Solihull Vixens, captained the Sheffield Shadows under 16 side this season. So again, somebody with experience, scored in the playoffs for the Vixens and a semi-final win over Guildford. Good work in the corner. Phoebe Gregg just behind her. It's flicked back towards her. In the end, the puck just trickles its way through. Allows both sides to make the line change. It'll be interesting to see this Sheffield side, how they'll, this Blackburn side rather, how they'll develop with so much experience added to a roster, and whether this is a bit of a preview ahead of next season as to what we might expect to how that team may look. Walsh can't keep it in. She's a former GB international who's a veteran presence on the blue line for the Shadows Division 1 side. Puck comes through the crease. Natalie Hammond it is, who's in goal for the Hawks. Good to see that Blackburn have got a women's team again. The Thunder ceased to exist a few years ago now, just prior to lockdown. So a lot of these girls did play for Blackburn, or the Blackburn Thunder previously. So a lot of them are now heading back. Preston Jeno, who spent some time with Coventry before moving to win this, but she took this year off. Good to see her back out on the ice. Really top talent that she is. Control on the blue line then. And nicely dealt with by Charlotte Pirrie. It is now, as she got married last year, changed her name. She was Charlotte O'Brien. Her dad Kevin, the coach of the Shadows Division 1 side. That one comes through. Hammond covers up, and we'll get a face-off inside the Hawk zone then. Eva Solossi is going to take this draw. Normally Phoebe Gregg centres this line. Nice colour scheme this for the Hawks. Predominantly blue with grey and red on it. It's similar to the original colours that the men's Hawks team played in when they first entered the league back in 1991. A sort of San Jose Sharks teal colour almost that they played in, so similar colours in a way, but certainly different from the current men's colours, which gives them their own identity, but they are under the Blackburn Hawks umbrella, of course, so hopefully that gives them a bit of support as well. Selassie calls for a puck. Nice little layoff to be collected at the blue line. Phoebe Gregg will motor forward. Nice hands from her. Gregg opening up the shooting angle. It's a shot off. Hammond makes a save, and then the rebound just stabbed wide. She was scrambling, trying to get it out. It was just out of her reach. And then the spot home. I think it was Leah Cheatham from distance. The puck fell perfectly to her, and she shot home from distance for a 1-0 lead. Blackburn then, maybe a chance to start afresh. They were penned back quite a bit really in their own zone, having to soak up a lot of pressure. As we get a whistle on the play there. That will allow Sheffield to make some changes then. Behind the back of the Blackburn net, over onto our far side, and it'll be controlled by Ruby Riley. Blackburn had a challenge game a couple of weeks ago on their own ice against a Leeds Select team, and it was a very entertaining game as well. Blackburn took the win, but there wasn't much in it, and I'd say it bodes well for this Hawk side ahead of their entry in their debut into the WNIHL in Division 2 North next season, as that one comes through. Maybe tripped on the way through there. The Blackburn player didn't quite catch the numbers. It was Preston Jeno, in fact. It's Sheffield looking to try and catch them on the counter here, and it's a nice breakout from them. But Blackburn got the numbers back. In the end, Sheffield outnumbered 4-2. Sheffield able to roll out 3 whole units then. 3 forward lines, 3 D pairings. They have 2 goalies here. Good to see Shannon Schneider back after being out all season with an injury. So good to see her back on the ice. That one's worked back nicely by Jenny Smith of the Shadows. Rowan Yellett-Bilby. Exciting young defender who gets a shot off and then also collects her own rebound, but couldn't quite steer that one home. We'll get a face off inside the Hawk zone then. Hazel Wilson will take the draw. That's to Walsh. Again, Blackburn being pushed back here, but they're doing well against what is a team with a lot more experience than them, at playing not just at the top end of Division 2 North, but as I say, some fair bit of representation from the Division 1 side as well. Good save as the puck bounces off the pads and away. But the rebound's put home then, and Sheffield double up. Sheffield could be one of the main contenders this season. Sorry, in this tournament this weekend. Been pretty much Bristol and Nottingham for the last few years, but I think Sheffield could well throw their hat into a ring, as they look decent so far. And as I say, with the players on their roster, you would expect them to provide a challenge for most teams. It'll be particularly interesting to see what Sheffield do against Nottingham later on in the tournament. So inside the final 4 minutes then, 2-0 lead to Sheffield. Wallace Fennessy winds one up. As Blackburn will look to break out down that left wing side. Shot comes in at the second attempt, it's cleared. Lovely little deke there. And Sheffield can break out with Eleanor Shaw. She's in on goal here, can she finish? No, big save there from Hammond, who stood her up well. Two Blackburn players take each other out there. That one's going to be covered up. We're going to face off inside the Hawk zone. And again, another stoppage, so keeps the face off inside the Blackburn zone for the time being. No, we got a penalty in fact. Greenwood it is who will sit. So the Hawks looking to push out. Comes in and the rebound, and then that one's going to be saved as well. Just a 1 minute penalty you get in these games, with it being such a short game. It makes sense that you wouldn't want to lose a player for 2 minutes, but the penalties do tend to run through pretty quick. What a tripping call. Oh, that one's nice tip there from Wilson. Gets a redirect, and that one's put home via the posts and in for 3-0. So Greenwood does get to leave the box about 15 seconds early. We're going to get a timeout, they're saying. Wants the clock to be stopped, yeah, we'll get one. As a Blackburn player had a heavy collision into a board, so it was for safety more than anything. So we will get stoppages for that. And I think it was just the officials making sure that everyone was okay. And obviously you can understand why. Good to see she's okay, and she's getting the sporting applause around the arena. And we're back underway then. Sheffield still looking to turn the screw and add more goals to their tally. There's a big save and a second one from Hammond, being kept busy right up till the end here as Taylor loses a stick, but she'll control the puck with her skates up along the boards, and that should just about do it then. Won't be time to call a penalty if indeed there is one. So that will do it then, a 3-0 win for the Shadows.